Are there any recommendations that you could give to the young scholars? How to cultivate that curiosity, how to direct it in the right path?
Maybe, maybe not. I don't know yet. Let's see. Gonna think about it a little. But I have to also say, I mean, meeting in doing scholarship, you meet a lot of people. That's the nature of it. You meet other scholars, and I would say the privilege of meeting scholars that did interesting work and invited me along the way, being generous with their time and resources, open these doors. Right. So feeding into more interesting stuff and like, okay, this is really, really interesting. So it's like a fascinating path going forward. And of course, the other side of it is, shall we say, getting the positive feedback, at least at times, from actually learning a craft. Right. So doing research, yeah, curiosity, passion, for sure, that's the fuel. Mm-hmm. But learning your craft, learning, shall we say, about both your limitations and also learning where the doors are open and where you can go, that's it's not much of an advice, it's a description of how I see things myself. And working with young scholars in the SOT group, as you mentioned, the Strategic Organization Design Group. So we have one way of doing it, and I don't think it's better or worse than so many other places, but it works. And it's based on a culture of openness, trust, and teaming people together. So a lot of collaborative work going on there in that group as it evolves. And I think the premise that there's a respect relating to what people do, where they want to go. So we don't see this as a house where everybody must stay. Right. So it's also a place where some people join us for maybe a month or two, mm-hmm. some for a year or two, and some, become part of the family or the group in the long term. So that's very important. At the same time, when I mentioned the craft, not only do we need to have this kind of, shall we say, very strong culture of trust and openness and so on. So the other side of, shall we say, the family imagery is a very, very strong professional code.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Strong professional code means to develop jointly with a community of scholars. So it's not a little bubble. We live in Odense, Denmark, as you know. Yep. So it's not a bubble in Odense. But actually, what we do is premised on what our colleagues in the broader community is doing. So part of that is, for example, an extremely active and lively seminar series. So the SOT group, we have, every week an international colleague presenting. And who decides that? So basically, the members of the group invite people. Since it's established, visitors, they are likely to join us. So in that sense, we're exposing ourselves to the newest and best that our colleagues produce. And the other part of it is not being insular in our what we do. Mm-hmm. So in our group we do mostly modeling and experiments, but also we have some people working on, shall we say, survey-based methodology, econometrics and so on and so forth. And actually to expose ourselves to what people in adjacent areas within the broader, shall we say, discipline of management do is very, very important. So is this mixture of having a strong core, yet exposing ourselves to the world.